Depression.
You're always like feeling down.
Changing their personality.
They don't say a lot to anybody, they just rather be on their own.
It seems like a quite a big thing in teenagers.
You feel like sad, like really over anything.
That would be obviously the first signs, and then they just would get more and more down and down and down.
You just really don't feel like doing anything, really.
Depression is sort of...
You don't want to see anyone new. You're constantly sad all the time.
That's what I think it is anyway.
It's a hard thing to get over, really.
I think everyone can be depressed no matter if they're male or female.
Some teenagers do get depressed, like for different reasons.
They're in a relationship and it's just finished, and they might be depressed.
Family issues.
They kind of like won't talk to anyone about like their problems.
You sort of feel like you have to hide it.
If they have a lot of stress in schoolwork,
bullying, or even exams.
A couple of my friends are being depressed and stuff.
And although it affects you greatly, it also affects people around you.
Yeah, because you're always constantly worrying about them, like, oh, are they all right? Oh, what they're thinking about today.
I'd say it was very difficult for me because they sort of like grew quite attached to me, and then I felt that I couldn't be in that situation because they were so down about everything that it was making me feel upset all the time.
There's obviously that extreme, you know, when you're that real depression and when you're really depressed, where you know there is nothing else that you can think about apart from all these negative thoughts.
I've said like if you share it, sometimes it helps you to get it out.
Self-harm is where you like say
cut yourself or
when you harm yourself.
To inflict injuries upon yourself.
They like find anything sharp and they'll just
slit their wrists to quite an extent.
Simple things from just like when people punch walls.
The main place you see
is
the wrist, just like down there sort of thing.
Hurt themselves in every way possible, really.
They were just cutting their wrists.
And they'll wear like armbands over it.
Every now and again they try and hide like these grazes.
For me it's hard to understand.
Self-harm isn't something people would show off.
Which is kind of really sad because it's the fact that they know they're doing it to themselves, they know they're harming themselves, but they don't want anyone else to know. If you want to have an idea of why they do it, you've got to be in their shoes.
Some things happen and you don't like it, so then you do stuff to yourself.
Because it might give them a sense of relief.
It's stuff like things going on at home, maybe problems when it comes to girlfriends, and
you cause harm to yourself because
to relieve the pain.
It definitely happens amongst young boys as well.
If you're going to self-harm yourself, you've got to be so unhappy, it's unbearable. Must be.
She just hurt herself on her legs with the needle, and a needle instead of doing it on her arms because she didn't want anyone else to know.
Just from the way they dress, it might not mean that they self-harm.
They say that like emos self-harm themselves and they hate their life and they slit their wrists and stuff,
but it's not just them. Anybody could self-harm themselves, you know.
I know people that do self-harm and they try and hide it from their parents and things, and it's not an easy thing to tell from a person.
It's sort of a hard situation to deal with.
It's a subject that makes quite a lot of people uncomfortable because they don't know whether to approach them or to leave them alone. Or
I'd ask them what was wrong first and what brought you to do this.
You can ask them what the problem is.
But when you see it, you sort of like, you have to handle the situation quite delicately, I suppose.
It might be something really sensitive, like things happening at home and stuff.
You still got to like help them, like even if they don't like want help from someone, you've got to like try help them on your own.
Speak about it and just tell her to let it all out to me and offer what I could to help her, offer whatever I could.
I think what they really needed was just someone to talk to and like open up about it, which is what I think most teenagers need.